What's up, guys? My name is Richard the Mattress Pro, and we're doing a brand new video. Today, we're going to be answering the question that I get asked so often by a lot of my customers, and I'm happy to share it with you. Hopefully, it's interesting, but it's how did I get into the mattress industry? So, I've always had a sales background. I've always enjoyed selling things in school. I sold pens, candy. I sold pencils and got in trouble for that in school, but it is what it is. I was never big into schooling. It just never really worked for me specifically. So I had a lot of influences in the mattress industry. My father's friends, a lot of them worked in the mattress business and they were doing really well. This was back in the heyday of mattress sales where people were doing. I have a family friend who made like $180,000 one year selling mattresses, and this is like probably 15, 20 years ago when, that was a lot of money, right? So, he made a ton of money in the business, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna sell mattresses. I also had friends who, they were like the top salespeople at Sit and Sleep, which I ended up getting into business with later on. But, anyways, like that was like my interest in the mattress industry. Couple that with not being good at school, not liking homework, not knowing I'm not going to go to college. I was like, I'm just going to sell mattresses, but I had to start somewhere, right? I had to get in, and it wasn't easy just to jump right into selling mattresses. So I got my start in sales actually at a gym. So I worked as a membership manager at 24 Hour Fitness. That was my first legitimate sales job. Prior to that, I worked at McDonald's for like a couple months, hated it, wasn't for me. But anyway, so I went into fitness and started selling gym memberships and personal training. And from there, my general manager at the time, his name was Jimmy, he was like, Rich, you're a great kid. And I was 18 at the time. He was like, you're a great kid, and but maybe sales isn't right for you. Maybe it's, he was like, you're not that good. So he's like, maybe it's just not for you. And that really offended me, but not in a sense where I just like gave up, but I worked harder and wanted to be the best. So I ended up stepping it up, getting better at sales. That motivated me. I had some great managers that helped me along the way. And, went from 24-hour fitness. There was no commission at the time. It was like, I think it was like $16 an hour, something like that. Maybe even less, who knows. But then I went to LA Fitness. LA Fitness had commission, was like a sales manager there, made decent money at the time for myself. I was making like $600 a week. I thought I was a big shot, but I was like, what? Then I got that call from Ortho Mattress. Ortho Mattress is a chain over here in Los Angeles. At the time, they had about 60 locations. So I started working for Ortho Mattress and kind of getting the feel of the business, and I got it pretty quickly. I had some really good managers to help train me along the way and show me how to sell beds. Shout out to James Mayo. If you're watching this, he helped me a lot. But so he helped me in the business a ton and worked for Ortho. They have you moving around at a bunch of different stores. And, the way their commission structure worked, it wasn't so advantageous unless you're just at one really good store. But they would move you around into their stores, and it was a draw versus commission thing. I was making like $3,000 a month, but from there I was like, okay, well, I know I'm getting good at this. I wasn't amazing yet, but I know I'm getting good. So what I did is I found a store that I found a local store that I thought was doing really good numbers, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna call these guys up. So I called the store up there called Mattress Central. I called them up. I spoke to the owner. And he's like, yeah, we actually have a store opening up in Burbank. It's not open yet. And I lived at Burbank at the time, Burbank, California. And he was like, you want to come in for an interview? So I met with him and his business partner. And we had an interview. I'm sure they're watching this now. We had an interview. Great guys. I had an interview, and, they liked me. I liked them. I worked with them. I helped them open up their Burbank store. So that was their second location at the time. I really built that store up, got a lot of Yelp reviews, got Google reviews, really got, pretty good at the business. And, I felt like a hot shot when it came to sales. I felt like I couldn't be stopped, right? So I'm learning, watching a bunch of Grant Cardone videos, increasing my sales, getting better, whatever it is, learning my craft, getting better at closing deals and figuring out why people buy and all this stuff. So do that. And I sold to a customer who was, he was in like this auto finance company, worked for Westlake Financial, really cool guy. Again, I have some great people in my career. And he was like, hey, you should, work doing this. Some of these guys are making 120, 300 grand a year. So I was like, yeah, I'll do that. It's a subprime auto lending company. It's called Westlake Financial. So I was working as a dealer account manager there. And, again, great opportunity. I actually loved it. But the way their system worked, there was like a ramp up time with like getting paid, right? So there was a ramp up time with getting paid, and it was kind of difficult. So, kind of difficult to get that ramp up. My bills were, coming and due, and I was like, okay. So I went over back to Mattress Central. They called me back, and they were like, hey, we can use you here. So I was like, all right, well, I need this amount of money, and they agreed, and they said, okay. So went over there, helped them out at that store for a little while. Did that, and they put me in their, not the best store. It was one of their newer locations. It was Northridge. They'd grown to 3 stores at the time. So I went there, and I was making decent money, but I was waiting a long time for customers to come in. There wasn't the biggest customer flow. And then I took a chance at a more busy store, Ashley Furniture. I'm sure you've heard of them. They're a big chain. So I went to Ashley Furniture. From there, did see more customers, but their commission structure was a little messed up. I didn't like it. They were already talking about management because I was like their number one mattress person there, which was really cool. I was grateful for that, but I also saw how hard the managers were working, and I'm not afraid of hard work, but I also saw how much they were getting paid, and I didn't want to be in that position. So again, Mattress Central, they're like, look, we need a good salesperson, like, come back, we'll do this. I'm like, all right, well, I'll go if you give me their top store, like if you let me work at the top store. So they did, and they agreed to that, and I worked there for a good amount of years, even through COVID. I was probably with them for an accumulative maybe 5-6 years. So here I am with Mattress Central. Now, I've always wanted to open up my own store, and me and one of the owners there, we had a little bit of a disagreement on running things and whatnot. So I was kind of ready to leave that situation, and I got a call from one of the people who helped, who even brought me into the mattress business. His name was Chris. And he owned a store called Mattress Pros. And he was like, hey, you still want to open up a store? And I was like, yeah, I still want to open up a store. Let's do it. And this is at the time when they actually Mattress Central, they put me in one of their worst stores. It was almost like a punishment type of thing, but they put me in one of their worst stores, downtown LA at the time, which is now closed down. But they put me in that store, and I was like, oh, man, okay, well, this kind of sucks. And they put me in that store, and I actually got a call when I was in that store from my to-be business partner, Chris, and he's like, hey, you still want to open up that store? And I'm like, absolutely, let's do it. So found a store in Culver City to open up. I didn't really know anything about opening up a store, but I did know how to run a mattress store, so I was confident that I could sell and get business out there. So I opened up this store called Mattress Pros. We opened up in 2021. I told the owners, and at first, the owners of Mattress Central, they were really cool about it. They were like, yeah, you know what, if you need to have any questions, let me know, blah, 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 which is cool. I appreciate that. So I went over to the store in Culver City, opened it up, and in the first 3 months, I was able to get up to like $100,000 in sales, which that number was really strong. $100,000 a month in sales, you're rocking it out. Obviously, not all of it's profit, but $100,000 a month in sales, like, you're doing good. So worked there. Did my $100,000 a month in sales, almost didn't reach under $100,000 a month. Like, it was a solid store. And I did a combination of, my mattress reviews, getting business online, doing stuff a little bit different of a way, but also advertising a lot online. I learned a lot about advertising, learned what not to do. I spent over $300,000 one year in advertising, which kind of screwed me up. Opened up another store. We opened up a store in Silver Lake because we were so hot, and we're like, all right, well, if we open up another store, if we're doing this much business, opening up another store, we're going to get more business. Doesn't always work like that. Can be detrimental to a company. We ended up shutting that store down, and I wanted to kind of focus on building the online brand of the mattress store. And plus, I kind of got overwhelmed, right? Running a store, you're taking in deliveries, all this stuff, hiring and firing salespeople, training people, all this stuff. So what I did was, there was one of my best friends, his name's Kyle Hampton, and I hired him on as a general manager. and it took him so long to leave Mattress Central because he's a really loyal person, and I really respect that, and that just shows so much about his character. But it took so much convincing from him to leave that company and come work with me, So he ended up doing it, left that company, and the owners, one of the owners there, not both of them, but one of them was, he was like, "You're never gonna be what I am." I mean, he was really mean to Kyle, which isn't cool. It left such a bad taste in his mouth. In Kyle's mouth after so much that he'd done for this guy, which that's whatever. No need to bash him, but it was really unfortunate because this guy Kyle, he's a good dude. So he went in and he was my general manager, and then what happened was I was like, you know what, like I'm kind of burnt out. Like I don't want to be in this mattress store all the time, so I wanted to work on more things. I wanted to work on more online marketing, and that's what I'm doing now. And so what I did was I kind of gave my portion of the store to Kyle. So he took over. So he's running it. I still do the online deals and stuff like that. So if you need a mattress, shoot me a text. My cell phone number is 818-720-6743. And here I am working almost exclusively from home now. Never thought that was going to be a thing. Constantly working like 60, 70 hours a week in the mattress business. I used to work 9 to 9, 6 days a week. So I'm still a hard worker. But now I'm working, exclusively from home, doing a new type of business model. So again, totally different. I hope this was entertaining to you. I hope this, is interesting. And I guess I'll hear it, in the comments below, like what you guys think of these type of videos. This is totally different. It's more of like I don't know, just a random video, but answering that question, how I got in the mattress industry. If you guys like my content and you want to support me, you want to buy a mattress from me, it helps me out significantly if you guys, buy a mattress from me. So shoot me a text. My cell phone number is 818-720-6743. I ship anywhere in the United States for free, and I will save you money. On average, I help people save anywhere from $800 to $2,000 on their mattress purchase, and I ship nationwide. 818-720-6743. Richard the Mattress Pro, and we're out.